properties on characters, as well as characters specifically. So we're going to see, hey, there's going to be uninterruptible stance nerfs. There's going to be stamina nerfs. Those are probably the top two things we'll see.
Sweet. So let's dive right in then.
Cool. Let's hit it. Yorm. Uninterruptible stance. You're going to see top heavy opener. Uninterruptible stance now starts at 600, was 400, and sides will now be 500. So this means if he's trying to feint, or sorry, if he's trying to parry, and he's right or he's wrong, blah, 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 there's going to be a little less leniency towards the Jormungandr in those states. Also, slightly later is a little more in line with a character like Warlord. So as you can see from Warlord, post our previous testing grounds, Warlord's become fairly meta, let's say. I don't think this will be atrocious to Yorm players, and at the same time feeling much more fair for everybody else. And Serpent Smite, which is dodge forward heavy, is going to be much later. Again, much more in line with Warlord timings than it was on live. Stamina damage and regeneration pause. This is also identified as a big element of frustration for characters. We've reduced the stamina damage done by the light opener, light finisher, and the guard break melee, while reducing the regeneration pause of all four of the melees on this character. Cool. Let's keep going. Finishers, light and melee finishers, are now going to be frame. But don't be afraid to press buttons against Yorm. Parry of the light finisher as well. Pieces called out on this character. So specifically, we're going to remove the uncharged heavy opener's uninterruptible stance. It's no longer going to have armor, basically. You still get it when you fully charge, and that's going to be all right. So sad days for Hebion Red fans, but good days for everybody else. And then sweep, we're going to slightly make the uninterruptible stance a bit later as well. Again, this will be more in line with Warden timings that seem fair to me. Light spam.
Join me, but please go ahead.
Way back. Shugoki, same deal on the uninterruptible stance. Man, I wish there was a better name for uninterruptible stance. Put it in chat if you know what that is.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Light opener, we're going to make it a bit later to 300. It used to be JJ, little one, HP is going down to 140. This brings it in line with everybody else in the cast as a 140 max, except for the next guy, Lawbringer, who's also coming to 140, thankfully. And finally, Impale on this guy is also going to follow the normal binding rules. There are a number of scenarios that he would get the Impale that other people would have bounced off. So we're going to unify these rules.
Awesome.
Okay, Nusha, she gets a buff. Everyone else gets a weird variety of damages, starting very low and working light hit reaction now instead of no hit reaction. It's going to last her 10 seconds. It's going to deal 10 damage per tick instead of a weird variety of damages, starting very low and working up to very high. Cooldown is going to be reduced as well. And although the radius will be slightly reduced, we're going to see a big visual feedback improvement on this one. It's a super hype feat. I really like it because it tries to control a fight without mass damage all out.
And we are back with a very, very special guest. Our friend and Italian man is now upon us. Andrew, can you tell us a little bit about he's got a face to the words incredibili. Eyes for you. Let's roll the goddamn tape as we start talking about customization. Look at this shit. Holy crap, he's got a face to the words incredibilis, ladies and gentlemen. This beautiful Italian man is now upon us. Andrew, can you tell us a little bit about
the character fun task that acts like a centurion?
So I'm assuming
king like a centurion from the Roman. It's like before that it was a bit of a For Honor fantasy on it, but this is a bit going towards the traditional the armor sets, and I think a lot of people were demanding to have this type of variations.
Yeah, well, these are
there's also always a hint of darkness within every variations. Or the mystery. So as you can see from the Peacekeeper, you see a Venetian mask on top of it. So there's also, you don't get to find out what she's thinking of it. But then visually, it's a quite interesting culture that I wanted to introduce. Also, those white pelt is something that is quite new for the Warden, and also very traditional. The mask for Kensei's mask with the nice mustache. And of course, Orochi also just started to have the mask on of his own. Very interesting beard on the side. It's a metal, the mask.
He doesn't
I think
look
this
very
is his
happy. They don't
first
look
one.
very happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't look happy at all.
It's
Well,
a dark season.
Here we go.
The darkest one. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what
What
happened to
Ibushi?
Ibushi. So angry. It's creepy.
It's a bit creepy, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, the Shikoki, another pimped up version of it. It's
Nice.
very bling bling. There, so the one of the masks you saw it from the Warlord is one of them that people wanted to have get satisfied. Where so there's always a demand from.
Again, in the spirit of creepiness, I'm
Well,
assuming.
not really, but at
Intimidation?
the same time, when we read the Reddit, there's always a demand from the player, and that's I'm trying to kind of get satisfied where they're so the one of the mask you saw it from the Warlord is one of them that people wanted to have a full mask version of the Warlord. So there is a one variation that you will be able to use it to make sure that he has a full mask.
Edgy as all hell. So now you added a Gucci chain. Is that what that is? Is that
A little bit of a
little
bit
bling
of
bling?
style here and there,
Yeah, of
bling bling
course.
here and there.
Walk into the club?
another
You know what I
very-
mean?
Yeah. Another cool variation from the set, the new set that we introduced last time for the TND. For Shaolin, that's a very expressional mask. Another version of the Monkey King that we created.
I don't know how
A
to
bit
describe that
surprised.
face. A little bit like surprise. Yeah, that's it. Surprised. Ooh,
Ooh.
that's what I'm imagining.
Very cool patterns and nice engravings on Nuxia,
Mhm.
and a mask version of JJ.
JJ's not looking as happy-go-lucky this time around. I'm sad to see that. Okay, well, that being said, that's not it, right? We've got to talk about obviously the weapons that are coming with this season. So what can you tell us about the weapons? And I know that we've got a cool video to look at all of them. So what were the this again is when we talk about the armors that we just saw. These are the lootable items that you get from end of match drops and stuff like that. So let's dive into the weapons maybe.
Right, sure. I think there's for season 14. There's a special weapon that we wanted to make for a special player.
Yeah, so-
Clarissa
yeah.
can.
Yeah, so the first weapon that you're going to see is the Warden's weapon, and this one's special because it's for one of our players, Ogi, who honored us with his Make-A-Wish request, and so we chose the Warden because he said the Warden is his favorite weapon, and he named it as Ogden's Revenge. So shout out to you, Ogi, and to your Make-A-Wish chapter, and we hope that you're doing well during these times.
It was our pleasure to make a specific weapon for Ogi.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, apart from that,
this-
when it comes to the weapons in the actual kind of theme of the season, obviously, I'm seeing a lot of green. I can see that as maybe the common theme for these weapons.
Right. Overall, the color of this season is a toxic green. It's applied to throughout the whole weapon. You can just guess what that means. and you will find out eventually.
Yes.
These are just the reskinned weapons, and only the Black Prior, I think we just passed it, and the Wu Lins will have new visuals. But other than that, those are just the reskinned version. Just to remind you guys.
And of course, guys, we're doing this from home, so we don't have the flexibility of necessarily doing this live and taking the time and maybe even looking at your comments. So obviously, you guys could take a look and pause the video whenever you want to take a look at maybe your mains, weapons. But obviously, these are all going to be available starting next week, June 11th, for Year 4 Season 2 Tyranny. For those of you who may be joining us late on the live stream, which is not very live because it's pre-recorded. But that being said, Andrew, for this season, we're gonna let these play out and take a look at all of these new reskin weapons. But what are you most excited about?
It's something that we weren't even be able to showcase right now, but then we'll slowly unveil the stuff, and as we are moving on, that it's going to be there.
So we're just at the tip of the iceberg, is what you're saying, basically.
You know what? I actually just want to reveal everything.
No, Andrew, you can't do it. Andrew, don't do it.
I'm gonna. If I had the player that I can. It's all in here. I saved it.
That's incredible.
I just
Always
couldn't
with
find
the
the player.
props.
Give 1 second. No.
No, Andrew, you can't choose a VHS. This is 2020. We can't do this, okay?
We don't do this anymore?
No. That's, even as a boomer myself, I say that VHS it's done. That being said, okay, so we took a look at the weapons and armors that have to do with the lootable aspect of this season's content, but that's not all, right? Because we have the Battle Pass. Year 4 Season 2 is coming out with a new Battle Pass as well, and there's items that are related to that, so we can maybe take a look before we dive into the actual weapons of the Battle Pass. We have a few items that we want to highlight. Obviously, this is going to be themed around something that's a bit more dark, as we mentioned. So we can roll the clip right now and take a look at the flagship items of Year 4 Season 2's Battle Pass. So what can you say about this?
Well, Season 14 introduced a new type of dark. It's a new order called the Horkos. They arrive, and we don't really know what they are trying to bring with them. We'll find out slowly. There are a lot of mysteries that that will be unveiled throughout the season.
It's insane.
It's here. It's all in here.
Yeah, I mean the journey is gonna unfold itself for sure. So that looks like a yummy juice. Okay, so let's keep going here. That being said, we've got the weapon sets. We're going to take a look at the Horkos Trophy Head Free Roam emote. So that's all part of the Battle Pass. Again, this is new content coming with Year 4 Season 2. The new weapons, you're getting a sneak peek here on our on the Centurion and the Valkyrie, but we'll actually dive in a bit deeper with the next video that we're going to show you guys for the Battle Pass weapons. So let's launch the video, but what can you tell us about this particular set of weapons that are a part of the Battle Pass for Year 4 Season 2?
Right. The theme of these weapons are the alchemy, the rebirth, and the mysticism. These are the main topic that this first part of a season, and our weapon design will kind of reflect the trend of this dark time. The main material that I use for this one is the red gem, or we can call it like red crystal. Usage you will find out soon. Always assume.
Man, all you're doing is teasing these guys. I can't keep up.
What can I do? Others are the brass and the gold. The suede leather is another one, and lacquer wood for the samurai, and the oxidized metal, which you can see there's a little bit of tint of a bluish metal that you get it. Those are the main material that we used. The color wise, it's a bit more saturated, so you will kind of see it's a very vibrant. And it's all the designs and weapon designs are inspired from the medieval. It's kind of bizarre illustration when you kind of
the seasons maybe.
They are. They will really pop out during in the battlefield.
I don't know.
Snake.
It's a danger.
There's a note by. We're still not done with it. How your day is going. This is for those of
Trials is going to be in lore with the season. So the narrative, if we can go to the next slide, is while the world's attention was focused on the truce of Wyverndale, a sinister threat grew in the shadows. The festivities of the Honor Games began a new chapter with the reenactment of battles against Apollyon and the Blackstones, but none of the warriors foresaw that the event would soon be remembered as one of the darkest moments in the Heathmoor's history. ...
So much grimness. Is that a word? I don't care. That's crazy,
pretty
guys.
grim.
Yeah, it is
Darkness.
grim. Yeah, the darkness. But that being said, we have this kind of mixed emotions here. We're starting off Year 4 Season 2, obviously in this context that is still in the Honor Games, but there's something that's going to happen. Shit is going to hit the fan. So we'll see when that happens. But can we dive in maybe more in terms of the game mode? Test your metal. Stefan, can you start us off and bring us back to time with this classic throwback?
Totally. This is a fan favorite, Test Your Metal, returning in the context of the Honor Games. So you may remember the Honor Games from the previous season of Hope, where basically, people were having fun medieval type kind of battles. Not meant to kill each other, but it's swords, it's for honor, it's a bit dangerous to have fun. So heads are going to get lopped off anyway. And here, basically, great fighters have taken on the armor and the mystique of campaign story mode bosses, and you are going to fight them with 3 of your friends, for the enjoyment of the crowd, basically.
And so this may be the answer that we have for why seemingly might be Apollyon in the key arts. I don't know if that's the reason. Maybe we'll find out later in the season. I don't know, guys. I don't know, and I won't tell you today if I did know. But that being said, Stefan, you spoke a little bit about the game mode overview, but maybe let's dive into the details of what it means to really play Test Your Metal and what players can expect next week.
Totally. So it's a 4v4 elimination game mode. 4 of you are going to be humans, and the other 4 will be the bosses from the campaign mode, the computer-controlled ones. If you don't know if you're a human or a computer, we'll debate that after the show, I guess, to help you out. But other than that, we've got 2 chapters to bring to you. 2 chapters, right? The first chapter, you will fight a random roster. Either it'll be led by Apollyon, and it'll be her knights.
On. Clarissa, do you want to maybe touch upon the in-game realization as well for this event?
Yeah, so every season, though I don't know what we told you, but
before we let you go,
For honor.
Wow,
Above
that's a
season 5.
major bar. That's a major bar. And Alex, for yourself,
Quote this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, like Stefan mentioned, the team worked so hard on this, and honestly, we just can't wait to hear some of the feedback.
Yeah, and this journey is just not over yet. Again, guys, thank you so much for taking the time today. It's gonna be a hell of a ride. I think we all said that and teased it all throughout the stream. So let's say bye to Stefan and Alex. Thank you again, guys. At that point, this is the end of the show, guys. Clarissa, did you have fun?
I had a blast. I mean, it's not the same when we're not right next to each other or anything like that. But, it's still Warriors Den regardless. And my favorite part about Warriors Den, at least, especially with the season reveals, is just unpacking all the stuff that we can talk about. And then also, teasing
Just
about
the
what
tip of
may
the
happen.
Exactly. And that being said, I want to make a huge shout out to all of the people that are involved in making this happen. Not only the seasons. Again, this is a huge shout out to